Now, you may not know or guess how many fossils have been discovered in the last 150, 200 years, but there are well over 100 billion fossils that have been discovered. There is one fossil field in which it's estimated there's 80 billion vertebrate fossils alone. There are tens of millions of fossils that have been cataloged, described, dug up, and deposited in museums and similar institutions around the world, and they've been studied. Whatever else you want to say about evolutionists, they haven't been lazy, they've been doing their work.
I believe there was a worldwide flood about 4,400 years ago that completely destroyed this planet. I think that's the only logical way to explain the fossils.
So that we're all on the same page, the question has to do with fossilized clams, not plants on Mount Everest. And I say, assuming that such exist, then I'd have to understand the geological history of the mountain. If you're a recent creationist, it all happened 6,000 years ago, and everything else is a lie, then mountains haven't changed an awful lot except for this enormous scouring of water that took place in this deluge, unless you believe another fantasy that the water was hidden away inside and popped out, or another fantasy of Dr. Hovind's that it all came in a meteor with water until it was shown that that would be vaporized. It's well known that mountains rise through the tectonic forces that are generated by tectonic plates. So I'll just switch it. I don't know Mount Everest, never been there, but I have spent a lot of time in Jamaica, and it is well known that the mountain in Jamaica, which is 7,600 feet, came up from the ocean.
Okay, here's a public school textbook saying climbers reaching the top of Mount Everest plant their victory flags over the remains of animals that once lived in the sea. It's a simple fact that the top 3,000 feet of Mount Everest is indeed full of sedimentary rock loaded with seashells. Petrified clams in the closed position are found all over the world, including the top Mount Everest. Now, when a clam dies, it opens. You can walk along the beach and find a billion seashells. You hardly ever find a matched pair, and you don't find them closed if they're dead. They open, the muscle relaxes, it's just a natural response. So I think the best explanation of petrified clams, and sometimes they're found up to 10 feet thick, solid petrified clams, jammed in there, closed and petrified. To me, it's not a problem. The flood would have underwater, what are called turbidity currents, mudslides underwater, move incredibly fast. There was one turbidity current that cut the transatlantic cable years ago. They said it had to move 70 miles an hour underwater, the mud flow. I think during the flood in the days of Noah, you would get incredible turbidity currents that would bury beds of clams, and when they wake up dead, they can't open.